Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Lordsi FPS YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to be teaching you how to go from controller to keyboard and mouse in Call of Duty Warzone. Now, I made a video like this back in 2020, but things have changed quite a lot. But that video did really well, and I had a bunch of people thanking me for helping them and giving them some really good tips. But a lot of the settings and everything has now changed in the new Warzone. So today, I'm going to be giving you a bunch of tips, tricks, key bindings, settings, everything you could need in a switching tutorial. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So I've swapped over to my streaming setup because I want to show you the settings. I can't give you all the tips and how to practice without doing the fundamental basics every single keyboard and mouse player should have down from the get-go, which is of course your key bindings, your settings, your mouse sensitivity. Let's start off with mouse sensitivity. This is going to be different for everybody. Some people like to play really high, some people like to play really low. If you're just starting out, I recommend you start low and gradually get higher. Now there's two parts of this. You have your DPI and you have your mouse sensitivity in game. So I'm using a Razer mouse, but you can do this in all mouses that you can get. I have set to 3600 DPI, which is relatively high. A lot of people like to put it lower, but I generally, when I'm using my PC, like to move the mouse around a lot. So it's nice being able to still have that and decrease the sensitivity in game. And then I've put my mouse sensitivity down to 4, which is pretty low, as you can see on this whole bar here. So what I suggest that you do is maybe start even lower than I am on right now and slowly put it up more. Or if you're starting high, slowly lower it until you find the perfect one for you. You want enough that you have enough accuracy when you move your mouse to have that control. And you'll notice if you're trying to flick onto somebody with the mouse and you're going a bit too past them, or you're not getting your accuracy on point, it's usually because your sensitivity is set up wrong. Either you've got it too high if you're going way over, or you've got it too low where you're not actually hitting them in time. So you're gonna have to play around with it, but just keep in mind those are the two main factors you wanna focus on. Otherwise, you can copy these settings right here and try it out for yourself, but don't be afraid to adapt anything. This video is not going anywhere, so you can come back and start at ground zero. So here are my settings if you wanna copy these right now. So for the key bindings, it's a little bit different. Firstly, start off by copying these top settings. You can change any of these, but these are what work for me. Stuff like auto tactical sprint, which is probably changed for you by default, is something that will help you quite a lot. But if you like a bit more control and you like holding your pinky on the shift the whole time, feel free to do that. But automatic tactical sprint helps me massively. So yeah, automatical tactical sprint. I can't remember what settings I've actually changed in here, but please feel free to copy these top settings right here. Now onto the actual keys themselves. You can fully customize these. I will explain to you why I use certain things in certain places. At the end of the day, if you're playing any other games on keyboard and mouse and you feel like something doesn't feel right with these settings, you can change it and move it around to how you like it. Move forward, move backwards, move left, move right as WASD, as you should, all right? Use, I have as F. A lot of people like to have it as E. My problem with E is I found in games like Minecraft or Valorant, I'm using F to pick up weapons, or E would be my inventory, you know? But I use F for use, space for jump, Q for crouch and slide. So if I want to do my slide cancels and stuff, I can do that quickly right next to the W key. The closer the keys are, the better for the key things you're going to be using a lot. So I crouch and I shift and I move around a lot with slide. So I need that right next to the W key to give me that advantage. Prone, I have a Z, a little bit of a difficult one, but you don't find yourself proning that often. You'll find yourself crouching a lot more than you are proning. So yeah, Z is not unreachable, but it's a little bit out of the way. You can just move your pinky from the shift to the Z. Left shift is what I use for my sprint, tactical sprint and steady aim, but like we discussed on the further up on the key bindings, it's automatic, so it doesn't really matter. If I stop, I stop. If I move forward, I'm running. J and V for our sprays. Then moving on to weapons and equipment key bindings, you can feel free to copy these settings. I would recommend lowering your switch weapon minimum delay. You can put it lower, but I really wouldn't recommend it. You know, you want a nice middle ground. So copy all of these, and you need to be able to just read through them and see what works for you. But right now, I want to give you my settings, so please feel free to copy these. Okay, then for the actual key bindings, this is a crucial one. So fire, left click, aim down, right click, reload as R, next weapon as 1 and previous weapon as 2. I've actually turned off the scrolly wheel for this, and I'll show you why later, but you need to get into a habit of pressing your keys for your weapons. It will give you a little bit more control instead of just scrolling through your wheel. You could even do 1 as first weapon, 2 as second weapon. I sometimes do this. Third weapon doesn't really apply here, but okay, weapon mount we have as the back button on the mouse. Now, if you don't have that, I mean, you can feel free to fill up your keyboard with whatever you feel comfortable with. It's just convenient for me. It's quick here, and if I want to mount quickly, I can do that. Melee, I actually have as the front click button. Now, although you don't really use melees as much, for me, when it comes to stuff like smashing windows and being able to get through, it's stuff you don't notice if you haven't got a quick melee button. So lethal equipment and tactical equipment I have as 3 and 4. I am tempted to change it to 4 and 5. If you play Valorant, you probably like to swap between your knife and your guns. I have a habit of doing that, and then you'll find I keep throwing knives completely on accident. So feel free to have this as 4 and 5, but 3 and 4 also works great. Now, for me, I have armor plates as down scroll. It's pretty convenient. It's quick for me. I like being able to do it. It feels good in game. So field upgrades I have as C, mission ability G, weapon inspect I, and yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. You can obviously go through and change kill streaks and vehicles. I have mine as X, to be honest with you. You don't really need any of these. You just need the main one for Warzone, because you can only have 1 kill streak at a time, you know? This is more for like multiplayer, but... and the only other setting I have on overlay and shortcuts is for ping. I have mouse click, being able to point where you want to mark for your teammates, like you're already looking there. I like it a lot. I used to do it in Fortnite. I've got into a really good habit with it, and I really like it. So I would recommend it if you haven't tried it before. Everything else is fully customizable, up to you, but those are some key bindings that will help your gameplay. So now we can move on to the tips, things that will actually help you, how you can practice, how you can get better, some other things that I would recommend you try. With practice, you'll start gaining muscle memory of where each key is. If you're just starting out, I know things can be tedious for you. Please don't get overwhelmed. Everybody who started playing keyboard and mouse has been in the exact same position. And although it seems difficult at this time, if you dedicate yourself, just take off the controller, put it away, and dedicate to your keyboard and mouse for a solid week, maybe 2 weeks, you will notice huge difference. And if you don't believe yourself, record your first game and then record every single week of you dedicated to the keyboard and mouse, and you will instantly see the difference. I think that's the #1 thing where a lot of people instantly give up or go wrong. Yeah, they suck at the beginning, but it's nice to see that progress later on. Of course you're gonna suck. When you first got on a bike, you couldn't ride it, right? It's the same thing with mouse and keyboard or anything in life. The more you practice it and the more you put it into motion, the better you're gonna get at it. And some people pick it up quicker than others. Some people pick it up slower than others. I think the key thing is even doing it in the first place is where you're gonna start noticing a major difference. Now, a really good technique, and I recommend for you, is if you have Modern Warfare, obviously Warzone's based off the Modern Warfare engine. The Cold War and Vanguard weapons aren't on Modern Warfare, but if you do have Modern Warfare, you can go in a private match, set a bunch of bots, put the timer to unlimited, and you can just practice. That is a great way to get your movement down. It's a great way to get your aiming down and Really practice with your key bindings before you jump into actual games. Otherwise, if you don't have Modern Warfare, don't stress it because the next one's about to come out. There's no point you shelling out money on a old game, right? I would definitely recommend, there's no Plunder right now. Normally Plunder's a good one. Something like Clash would be good in the team deathmatch, or even just Rebirth Resurgence because you respawn. The idea is you want to just keep respawning and practicing until you feel comfortable going into Battle Royale or Rebirth game. You need to try out different weapons, you need to try out different settings, and that's the only way you're going to get better. There's no beating around the bush. There's no secret to getting much better. You will get better with more practice. Or even if you don't want to practice directly on Warzone, Aim Labs if you're on PC. It's a free Steam game and there are Warzone playlists there. You can make your settings nearly identical, you can move around similar, and you can shoot similarly and get better aim at the game. Aim Labs I really do recommend. It is a great piece of software, but if you're playing keyboard and mouse on a console, don't sweat it. You can still gain the same amount of skill by practicing on Clash or Team Deathmatch or Plunder or Modern Warfare multiplayer. So I hope these tips did help you. The whole goal of it is to help you guys get better. I really appreciate all the supports. If you have any questions, I will be responding to every single comment in the comment section. And if you did find this helpful, please make sure to like and subscribe. I'm live every single day over on my Twitch, twitch.tv/itslordsi, and you guys can ask me any questions you want. And I'd appreciate you coming in and hanging out with us. You can even come and play with us. Every stream I play with viewers and we have a great time. So thank you so much. I hope this video helped you. I hope you have a fantastic day. More tutorials and videos incoming. Thank you so much for watching, and peace.